This is Herald Square. It's named for an old newspaper, the New York Herald, kind of like how Times Square is named for the New York Times. This is where 34th Street is. So this is where Miracle on 34th Street takes place, right in this Macy's. This is the world's famous original Macy's store, the one that does the parade every year on Thanksgiving. This is it. This is a historical place. It cuts from Broadway to 6th Avenue. It is a big square, and I'm excited to be here. I'm glad you're here. We're going to be seeing Santa today, which I have never been inside this Macy's, and I've never seen Santa inside this Macy's, obviously, so here we are. Rowland Hussey Macy Sr. started the company, and he passed away in 1877. So if you're like me and you've watched Miracle on 34th Street and you see H.R. Macy and you're like, wow, I wonder if he was playing himself. No, he had been dead for many, many years at that point. That was an actor playing a version of him, because at that point the store had not been owned by the Macy's family in a very long time. The store was eventually sold during H.R. Macy's lifetime to the Strauss family, and Ida Strauss and her husband drowned on the Titanic, and so there was a plaque put up in their honor here around 1914. These are the elevators. We're going to check out the escalator. Take a look at these. These are 100-year-old wooden escalators. I've heard people claim that they're the oldest in the United States. I can't find any that are older, but I also can't find any real resource that claims that.
Miracle on 34th Street, Santa was on the first floor, and now Santaland's all the way up on the 8th floor.
Now, this store was famous for Santa way before the movie. They actually had Santa on the first floor after the movie, all the way up through 1974, when they moved Santa up to the 4th floor for a little while, then eventually to this giant 8th floor display. This display remained very similar to how it looked in the 70s, all the way into the 90s. They've updated some of it since then, but a lot of this, the core of this, is a very, some would say dated, I say classic attraction, which is what I love about this place. This attraction was so popular in the 70s that for a while they had what they called the quick peek line, which you would line up like this, and at the end of it you wouldn't even get to see Santa. You would get a peek of the floor through a one-way mirror. So you could see where Santa was, you could see him greeting other people, you could see the line, but it was a line to look at the line and not to do anything else. This is really good. They're showing some video, by the way, about upcoming Hallmark movies.
This is where he's saying, oh, you've got Dasher where Donner should be. And Blitzen has 4 points on his antlers. That's the Macy's parade. And then this is where Susan is looking out the window. She's got her Time magazine there. She's looking out the window and says that this used to be a baseball player last year, but they repainted it. There's Mr. Galley. This is where she pulls on his beard. She says, are your whiskers real? We also find out the answer to the question, does Santa sleep with his whiskers inside the covers or on top? And he sleeps with his whiskers on top. Cold air helps him grow. And then here's Chris at the end, shaking hands with Mr. Galley after.
The prosecutor is forced to admit that the state of New York concedes the existence of Santa Claus. What a great ending. Since 2010, they've taken reservations here, so we have a reservation to get in this line. Now, the reservation was free. There are some places where there is a charge just to see Santa, but here you can sign up, you can go in and see Santa for free. In 2020, they didn't have the meet and greet, so it was the first time they ever skipped it. So for Christmas 2020, they had an online experience where you could play games and get a selfie virtually with Santa. They returned in 2021, but Santa was behind a desk, and this year is the first year he's back meeting people, letting kids sit on the lap again, traditional Santa meet and greet. I like this. I just like the props around here. I think this is very cool. I think everything's set up. I don't know what that is. I don't know why Joe Franklin is carved into a tree, but it's very cool. They have Mrs. Claus's Bakery and all the specials you can see here. So lots of good stuff to look at. Definitely feels like a Disney queue. Here they are. They're kissing under the mistletoe, these sheep. Mistletoe goes back as a kissing thing for many, many hundreds of years. It had to do with the Greeks, I think, thought that mistletoe was a sign of fertility, and so it had been associated with peace and love and understanding. The Romans would hang it over their door frames, and so eventually it came around to be something that you kiss under the mistletoe. Look here, Miracle on 34th Street is playing at the little theater here in this train display. It's pretty great. The train runs around this tree here, and then we've got a deer eating some candy corn on the cob, which I think is a good use for candy corn.
Can you try and convince her to get me Travis Scott tickets?
No. Same doesn't convince moms of things they don't want their kids to have. That's for sure.
I do sometimes have to check with the parents.
Thank you, Ted.
It's great to see you. Merry Christmas, Santa.
Usually it's pets we ask for.
I met him. The big guy.
Here's the Macy's Christmas window displays. These have been around since 1889. They used to actually make it part of the parade, and Santa would unveil each window. And they've been a popular attraction for people for years and years. People line up to look at these. A lot of windows in New York are decorated for Christmas, but I would say that none are as popular as these. I want to match up a scene from the movie here. Santa is escorted out of the building. He's told that he's going to be meeting with the mayor, and he says, I've got some things to talk to him about. And they escort him out of these doors right here and right out onto the street. And then that kicks off the whole trial at the end of the movie.
And then here is the plaque for where Thomas Edison first showed his first film with a paid audience. Was right here at the Macy's building. There's the Empire State Building. Come over here. This is where I tell them, if you enjoy the video, be sure to be like the Fox. Give it a thumbs up. While you do go, I'd appreciate it. Do it right now. Now, it got dark now, so we're able to see it with the lights on. This is the side where the Thanksgiving parade goes, right in the street, right in front of us. Well, that was it. The first time I've ever met Santa at Macy's, so that was very good. I just watched the movie last night. What a fun time that was. Right now, there's going to be a box over there. There's going to be a box here. My hands are full. I can't point. But YouTube says you're going to like this one. I say you're going to like that one. You choose. Come back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Merry Christmas. I'll see you there.